Welcome to today's lesson on different types of government, and in case you forgot, you are in social studies. Alright, the first type of government we're going to talk about is a democracy. And a democracy is any form of government in which the people, the citizens of that country, make the laws and run the government. An example of a true democracy would be like back in the New England colonies, where all of the eligible citizens would get together into their meeting hall and they would vote and be able to express their opinions and be able to run the government themselves. The next type of government I want to talk about is a republic. And actually, a republic is usually a form of democracy. And in a republic is where people, so those citizens that run the country, they elect representatives or politicians to run the country in their place. So let me ask you, what type of government does the United States have? If you answered a republic, you are correct. So we technically are a democracy, but even more specifically, we are a republic. Because yes, the people run the country, we the people, but to do so we elect representatives or politicians to represent us on our behalf. The next type of government is a monarchy. So a monarchy has a king, a queen, or sometimes they're called an emperor or an empress. So tomato, tomato, kind of a different name for having the one person who's ruling and in charge. And within monarchies, power is passed down from generation to generation. So the ruling position is passed down to the ruler's heirs. So in other words, if there's a king and a queen, and then their oldest son is a prince, eventually when king or queen pass away, prince is going to take over. So the power is passed down from generation to generation. In some traditional monarchies, that monarch, king, queen, emperor, empress, what have you, that monarch would have absolute power, so basically be able to do whatever they wished. But more commonly today, in countries like England, where they still have a monarchy, typically it's a constitutional monarchy, where there's also democratic government that limits the monarch's power. So in the case of England, they have the lawmaking body called Parliament, where those people are elected by the citizens, and Parliament, that lawmaking body, limits the power that the actual king or queen or whoever is ruling England would have. And the last form of government I want to touch on is a dictatorship. Now this is where a country is ruled by either one leader, so similar to the monarchy, or sometimes a dictatorship is run by a group of leaders. And usually that leader or group of leaders are not elected, and they often use force to keep control. And there's also a situation where there's military dictatorships, where it's the actual army that's in control. So if you think back to France and the French Revolution under Napoleon Bonaparte, that would be a dictatorship. If you think back to Nazi Germany with Adolf Hitler, that would be a dictatorship. You can see in this image right here where they have Saddam Hussein from Iraq. That would be another example of a dictatorship. So hopefully throughout this presentation you feel a little bit more comfortable about the 4 types of government we're touching on this year, which is a democracy, where all the people make the laws and run the government; a republic, where the people are still in charge, but they show their power by electing people to represent them; a monarchy, where there's a king or a queen. Sometimes they have all the power, sometimes they have limited power; or a dictatorship, where there's one leader or a group of leaders, and often it's controlled by the military. Alright, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.